Today I'm going to show you how to make Christmas cards using my terrazzo stencil and my linear texture stencil. So we're going to make 4 cards, 2 on black and 2 on white. So the first thing we're going to do is create a mask for our Christmas ball. So we're going to measure our card is about 5 by 7. And then we want to cut a mask that's going to be the size of our card. And I like to use contact paper for that. You can use cardboard if you want, but I like contact paper because it just stays there. And it's easier to work with for me. And you can reuse it. So you just trim your contact paper to the size of your card. And then you just find a circle template that's about 3 1/4. And you just trace it. You fold your paper in half. It's easier to cut that way. And then I just trace it with a circle template, and I go down to about an 1 3/4 inches down, because I like it. I like it to hang not exactly in the middle of my card. And then you just peel the back of your contact paper, and then you stick it on your card. And you have your mask done, and you do the same thing with the other 3, and we're ready to start. So for the first one, I'm going to use my linear texture stencil, and I'm going to use acrylic. I'm going to use white, I'm going to use teal by Golden, and I'm also going to use a green gold by Golden, which is, those 2 are fluid, and the white is from Blick, just a regular matte white. So I'm just gonna mix kind of my paint right on my palette there, which is actually just a tray. I like to reuse stuff, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start stenciling and mixing my color as I go. And you can always go back later. You can come back and add more colors. So for this first pass, I'm just going to do just a little bit of it. And of course, you can't see there, but I have my mask over that. So you'll see when we take the mask off, it's going to look really good. For this one, I'm going to use 2 of my stencil that I'm going to do a little grid with. So the first one is I'm going to use a lighter green for it, and for the others, to go across, I'm going to use another part of my stencil, and I'm going to use for that a little bit more of the teal color, just to have a little more contrast. And I'm just going to stencil like right over it to create this really cool kind of plaid pattern. So now we're going to work on our 2 black card, and basically it's the same idea, except when I stencil on black, I usually put a little more white in my color because I like to have a little more contrast. And I can always go back and add a little more darker colors later if I want to. And for this last one, I'm going to use my terrazzo stencil. So I'm going to go back and add a little color on top of this, just to add a little more interest to it, so it's less flat. So to give it a little bit, almost like a roundness to my Christmas ornament. So very, very subtle, but I think it really adds a lot of dimension to your little Christmas cards. So now it's time to add a little gold splatter, and I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can do it, like contain or just loose. So if you want to have it contained inside the Christmas ornament, then you're going to have to keep the mask on. So I just mix gold watercolor with a lot of water, and I just splatter away. And this is the one that I want just to be contained I just don't want it to spread over the whole card. But in this other postcard, I'm going to show you, which gives a completely different effect, but they're both nice. I'm just going to splatter gold like everywhere and create just a nice little background and overlap. And for the last one, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use a glue pen and some glitter, and we're just going to add some little dots of glitter instead of doing an all over splatter. So that's a little bit more controlled if you want to do that, and you can use different colors. I really like that look because it's really sparkly, but it just gets a little messy. So it just depends on what you want to do. They're both really pretty. The last step in my little Christmas cards is to add just a little piece of collage paper on top to create the final ornament. And as a final touch, I just use gold thread on my sewing machine to hang my ornament. And voila! You have some super fun little Christmas cards. Enjoy and happy holidays, everybody!